Hello TikTok. You have to excuse my voice today. I went to a wedding over the weekend and did far too much talking and drinking. Not COVID, so there we go. Did a little test. I just wanted to talk today about quotes, how prices are calculated, and to compare it with various Facebook pages, DIY on a budget, all these kind of pages, which I love, by the way. But quite often people will say, oh, I've had a quote from a builder or a carpenter or a handyman or whatever, and it's a rip-off. It's not a rip-off, it's just I want to explain how the price is calculated so you see why they're charging what they're charging. So I'm going to try and upload a little picture in a minute. It's of some flooring that I sanded and varnished. So this is a classic, like, easy thing to do. It's not that skilled. There's a few little tricks of the trade that might speed things up, but it's the kind of thing that DIY on a budget page, anyone can do it. So the price that I'm looking at is about £775 to £800. Now everybody will go, oh, that's really expensive, I can do it myself, right? So here's how the DIY on a budget type of person would calculate it, and then we'll explain that they've been ripped off. So the materials cost about 125 quid probably. That's the varnish and any filling you've got to do, that sort of thing. Probably some screws to screw down loose boards and do general repairs before you start. So most people are looking at it going, I can do that myself for 100 quid, let's say. That doesn't mean the job is worth 100 quid, and it doesn't mean I'm ripping you off if I say the quote's 800. What I've done is I've done a very quick breakdown, right? So £125 for materials, that's not even marked up. So if I underestimated, that would come straight out of my pocket. So I always mark up materials a little bit to cover me that if I've made a mistake and I need to get more, I've got some in the budget. But also it adds a little bit of profit. That's healthy for the business to invest in the future. And it covers my time. It doesn't even cover my time, actually. It goes towards my time of going to do the shopping for the customer, collecting the materials, and then obviously delivering them to the project site, whether that's shopping online, whether that's going to the builder's merchant, whether that's driving about, whatever it is, diesel costs, time, labour, all the rest of it. So after that, you've got to screw some boards down, do some sanding, quite a lot of sanding, to be fair. It's a decent size hallway. It's a pretty big hallway, to be fair. It's the size of like a living room, really, with a lot of little niggly bits to go in and out. It's not just a square room. And then the varnishing's like a full-on day. You've got to do 3 coats. You've got to pretty much do them all in a day, so they all adhere together. The first coat always takes like 5 times as long as the second and third coats, because you're going on to bare wood, and it soaks in a bit. Once you've got a nice shiny clean surface, second and third coats are much faster. So in total I looked at about 2.5 to 3 days. So I always have to err on the side of caution. So that's straight away 3 days. For simple maths, I just put it in as £200 a day. So you've got 600 quid there, and you've got about 125 on materials, like I said, with no markup. So you're looking at tools that are required. You might have got all the tools. That doesn't mean they're free. You might have to hire the tools, so obviously there's a cost to that. So regardless of whether you've got the tools or not, there is still a cost of using those tools, because they wear out. Sandpaper, that sort of thing. So a lot of people would ignore the cost of sandpaper. But if you're sanding a big area, a big floor, you're going to go through it quite a lot. It bungs up, like the dirt and stuff you sand off clogs it up. You can clean the sanding belts a little bit with like rubber pads, but it isn't going to be perfect, and you're going to go through quite a lot of pads. I can't remember how many belts I went through now, but the cost of that, let's say, is another tenner. So the total I was looking at was 775. I would probably be tempted to round that up a little bit, because like I said, I didn't mark up materials. So 775 plus a little bit of markup for materials is going to be roughly £800. That's because I've calculated my time. So anyone doing DIY in their house always just looks at material costs. You've got to work out how much you value your time. So if you're retired or working part-time, you've got to decide how much do you value your time. Like if you're retired and you've got grandchildren, would you rather be spending that day on your hands and knees sanding the floor, or would you rather spend that day going to see your kids? How much is that worth to you? Sorry, not your kids, your grandkids. How much is that worth to you? So if I said it's £200 a day, you go, you know what? Actually, for 200 quid, I'd rather someone else did it, because it's not a very nice job. It's a bit dusty, a bit dirty, on my knees, which, you know, even if you've got pads and knee pads and stuff, you're still up and down on your knees, which puts sort of wear and tear on your joints. For 200 quid, you know, I'd rather someone else did it for me. So I just wanted to explain, like, as quickly as I could, I'm still on 5 minutes now, as quickly as I could, how a price is calculated and how it can look really expensive, because you know you can do it yourself, you know how much the material is going to cost roughly, and then you suddenly go, whoa, where's this extra £700 come from? That's a rip-off. There you go. I've explained it now. Hopefully everyone appreciates and understands, you know, value of someone's time, value of labour, a little bit of profit, a little bit of markup in case materials are short, all that sort of thing. And yeah, thanks for looking. See you again soon.